Hey, what is happening? Impact Wrestling fans, welcome to the Robert Does Wrestling YouTube channel. And if this is your first time around here, make sure to subscribe. We're gonna be talking about Impact Wrestling and their Impact Wrestling show from September 6th, 2018. So the show opened up with Rich Swann versus none other than the Canadian Destroyer, Petey Williams. That is a rematch of a match that obviously happened last week, but this time around we got a little bit of a twist. We got none other than Matt Sydal being on commentary for this matchup since Matt Sydal is interested in helping Rich Swann become the X Division champion and, help him and guide him all along the way. Obviously, that served as a distraction during the match. Rich Swann was almost there to hit a Phoenix splash, that is a twisting 450 splash, but he missed because he was paying too much attention to Matt Sydal, and then Petey Williams was able to hit him with the infamous Canadian Destroyer, and that was it. The winner, Petey Williams. And obviously, Matt Sydal was disappointed at that, and these two meet up backstage, and obviously, Rich Swann told him, "Stay away from me, Matt Sydal. I don't want anything to do with you." Thoughts on this match and this mini feud? Nothing bad at all. Yeah, that is something that you may need to do with Rich Swann, with new in the company and stuff like that. So that is part of the game. There's nothing wrong with anything that they did on this match. This is obviously something to do with all of those X Division talent who are not involved in the X Division title picture. So obviously, I approve of this. Next, we got a tag team match. We got the Desi Hit Squad versus Joe Hendricks and Grado. And Joe Hendricks, he's very 90s. If you were to say the least, right? He's very 90s. And they did like something that they did in wrestling during the 90s. And I know that is part of his gimmick in ICW. They did like a little wacky song poking fun after opponents, something, very 90s, right? Well, he did a song talking about Katarina, aka Winters, that is the girlfriend of Rado, kind of, flirting with her, but only as a friend. So obviously, that's the way he's going and, answering all those people who have been accusing this man of doing nasty stuff behind Grado's back. So obviously, he answered all those questions with that, but only as a friend. Obviously, during the match, they were too distracted and they took the L. Grado took the L with a sky high. By the way, the Desi Hit Squads, they were able to do a couple of, double teams that look quite good. So obviously, they're working on that machine, getting that machine oil up into becoming a bigger type thing in Impact Wrestling. And after the match, obviously Katarina was pissed off. Obviously, you don't want to hang around with losers. So, she was mad. And then Joe Hendricks basically, you know, tried to go for the, you know, stop being like in the friend zone or something like that. I didn't get it, but Katarina turned him down for Grado and she walks away. That was what I actually understood out of it. I might have missed some of the details because I was not paying attention. 110% I'm not investing in this, so sorry about this one. And obviously she was able to hit him with a slap in the face, that meaning Joe Hendrix. Thoughts on it? I'm not invested in this angle, but I get it. I know they're trying to build up Joe Hendrix, especially by doing his kind of stuff backstage and the funky songs. And I thought the bookers thought that Grado was the best, you know, door to get him into the place that it is Impact Wrestling. But at the end of the day, the guys, they still ended up being friends and, poking fun and shit backstage. So a weird situation right there. Where does Grado go from here? If you have any idea, let me know in the comment section. But it's like a dead end. I don't see anything else coming out of it unless they do like a Grado versus Joe Hendricks match. But it doesn't look like that. Next, we got Scarlett Bordeaux. Meeting backstage with KM and Falaba. KM saying, hey, we follow your advice. We got matching trunks. And, he kind of implied that he wanted her to be part of the team, being like their manager or something along those lines. But it doesn't look like this. She just flirted with them. And just lets them pass by. So that looks like the idea with Scarlett Bordeaux. I know she knows how to wrestle and stuff like that, but I think they might be looking to add her as a backstage character, to say the least. She might be used as a wrestler, she might be used as a manager, or maybe just to do stuff backstage like the one that she did this week. Next, we got Eli Drake. Obviously, poking fun and having fun out there. Having like a adventurous, challenge or something along those lines. Obviously, poking fun at the guy he was gonna be wrestling, Stone Rockwell. By the way, this guy is deceitful when it comes down to his size. This guy's not small. He's like somehow a big dude, especially in Impact Wrestling. Everybody over 6 feet tall is huge over there. So he's kind of deceiving when you see him. When you see him, you think he's just your average, indie type of talent. But no, he's a little bit bigger, stuff like that. But I think he might have a couple of age up north. I think he looks like 30 something, 36 or 37 years old. But don't quote me on that. And that at the end of the day doesn't truly matter. There's people like, Christopher Daniels, who's like 50 years old and he's still a killer. So that have nothing to do with anything but, management like to hire younger guys, just like any business, right? We got Stone Rockwell versus Eli Drake. The finish of this one from a mile away. Eli Drake hit him with the gravy train, and that was it. Next, we got the Lucha Brothers. We got Phoenix and Pentagon Cerro Miedo cutting a promo like a Spanglish promo on OBE, because obviously OBE and Sami Callihan attacked them last week, and it looks like that is the next direction they are going with the Lucha Brothers. By the way, there is a rumor that the Lucha Brothers are gonna be signing with Vince McMahon. I don't think that's gonna happen. I think that if there's any possibility of that, it's gonna be early next year, because you have to wait 1 year after the last episode of Lucha Underground airs in order for you to be free from your contract. And by the way, he's booked like for a long time. He's even booked next month here. I think he's wrestling Ricky Banderas, aka Mil Muertes, Judas Messias for those Impact Wrestling fans. I think he's booked with him to wrestle over here. By the way, I'm looking to go to that show, but last week, last year, it was the same show under the same circumstances, but the hurricane happened. Therefore, I cannot be, expecting this to actually happen, but it is hopefully things go in our directions and things go well. And as for the Lucha Brothers, I think if Vince McMahon wants him, he will get there. Pentagon. Would that be a wise idea? The jury's still out. Look at Bobby Lashley. By the way, speaking about Bobby Lashley, before I lost my train of thought. You're a fan of Bobby Lashley. If you don't know how good was he on Impact Wrestling, I got you covered. I'm working on a video. Top 10 matches of Bobby Lashley on Impact Wrestling. And that should be dropping at the end of this week. So be on the lookout for that. Next we got the hottest thing on Impact Wrestling today. We got the alliance of Austin Aries, Killer Kross, and the Chinese Moose. Then Alicia Atao, she showed up. She wanted like the exclusive. She was ambulance chasing the news, but Austin Aries turned her down. And then Chef favorite knockout, Alicia Edward showed up. She was mad at Moose for betraying Eddie Edwards, his husband, but Moose kind of brushed her up, and Austin Aries keep poking fun at her, and they dismiss her without actually explaining anything to her. Next, we got a rematch of last week. We got Su Yung versus Tessa Blanchard. I'm not sure if this was a title match, but that was a rematch, right? Obviously, you were expecting that Tessa Blanchard was gonna win. Obviously, everybody and their mother knew, because that was the first time she defended the title on Impact Wrestling. She won. After the match. They on the drive show up with a casket, and they wanted to put Tessa Blanchard over there. Su Yung took advantage of that, and she hit the panic bottom, the panic shock, whatever it is, that finisher. And she was able to put Tessa Blanchard on a casket. Then the good girls, Ali and Miss Kiera Hogan, showed up, and they, took care of Su Yung. And after that, they took Tessa Blanchard out of the casket. And Tessa Blanchard was, shocked, because why would my enemies be helping me? Thoughts on this? Was this a good match? Yeah, nothing bad about it. The post-match stuff, it all depends how you see things. As for Tessa Blanchard, she already took an L from Madison Rain, someone who's no longer around. She's, somewhere else in some other universe. Now, she won the belt, but she still looks vulnerable. Su Yung was able just to put her on a casket by a single move and stuff like that. I'm not the biggest fan of making your heels look so, weak, especially when it comes down to Tessa Blanchard. That I know there's a lot of people who are totally in love with Tessa Blanchard. They love her, and they want to see her as a strong, dominating knockout. so they might not be that happy for that. But when it comes down to pragmatic, it works what they are doing, but I wouldn't do it. It will be like if I were to book Tessa Blanchard, would be the same method that I would use to book, Awesome Kong. Do you think any other knockout will be able to put, Awesome Kong on a casket on their own? If their answer is no, then the answer should be no for Tessa Blanchard. But I'm not the booker. I'm just some insane guy in the Caribbean talking about professional wrestling. So don't follow my advice. Follow the advice of the bookers. They know obviously better than me, right? Next, we got, and this is gonna be very interesting. It's very interesting and closer to home, and I'm gonna explain to you what to you why in a couple of minutes. They did like the elder counselor, right? Those are elder like gangster type, you know, being the judge of the war between Conan and King LAX versus the OG. They were passing judgment on on Conan and King, right? Obviously, Conan was defending his stuff. He was saying, "Hey, all of you were very ruthless when you got over here. But if I am ruthless, I am the bad guy." And the old gangsters and Conan will telling him, "Hey, the families are out and the kids are out. When it comes down to underground businesses, you deal it man versus man or woman versus woman. You don't involve kids or family, innocent people. That is not the way we do things around here, right?" So I'm gonna explain the funny stuff over here. That is some that I heard some people and saying like, "No, this is very unrealistic." Hell no. I'm telling you. I'm gonna tell you why. I live here in a neighborhood. It is not like a bad neighborhood or anything like that, but it's not like like a Christian place or anything like that. There's a couple of underground businesses over here, and a neighbor of mine got kicked out of the neighborhood because he was doing some stuff over there near where Despacito got filmed over there, right? And 5 people were killed because of him, and they kicked him out of the place. And the way they did it, like they did like a judgment with the old people that used to run the underground business around here, and they told him, "Hey, move your ass out of here." And the other guys, as for the other guys that you fucked it up, you got a couple of days to deal with them, and they're hunting you down. So it was like, whoa, that's insane, and that happened about 2 to 3 weeks ago. And it is funny just to see somewhere the same stuff happen on Impact Wrestling, right? It is what it is. That is the mystical synchronicity with Impact Wrestling that I got. Next, we got OBE with Sammy Callahan versus some indie talent is like Trey Miguel. The other guy was Ace Austin, something along those lines. Obviously, I think they should have sold them as they were coming out of an indie or something like that, like Team AAW or Team PGW or something along those lines. I think that looks more at aesthetics than just say their names, first name, last name, and that's it. I think when you try to introduce them into a new audience, just even sell them as Team, PGW. That's it. Nobody's gonna remember those three names, but they might remember the name of a company, Team PGW or something along those lines, right? At the end of the day, that didn't matter. It was just about to showcase OB and Sammy Callahan, and Sammy Callahan took the mic after that, caught a promo saying that they are the best trio, basically answering to the Lucha Brothers claim. And it looks like that is gonna be the feud going on. OB and Sammy Callahan versus the Lucha Brothers and Brian Cage. Next, we got the main event of the evening. We got Moose, Austin Aries, and Killer Kross answering the questions. Moose answering why he turned into a bad guy. Obviously, Shiny, Shiny Moose was mad at Eddie Edwards because after he lost to Austin Aries on Slammiversary, Eddie Edwards didn't even call him. Didn't even call him. So, and the one who called him was Killer Kross. And then he got into contact with Austin Aries. And he was saying, hey, you're pretending to be an insane guy and blah, 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 one other and the third. But when you needed me, I was there. But when I needed you, you turned your back against me. That's the way Moose saw it. Therefore, he joined with Killer Kross and Austin Aries. Obviously, Austin Aries put him over as the big stuff over there in the future of their group, like the unsung soon to be hero. So this was kind of funny, especially knowing that Austin Aries was the one who beat him up. But it is funny to see Moose, especially with that wacky clothes that kind of help him distinguish himself from the good old footballer, Moose. This is more like a over the top heel, kind of like gangsterism type of Moose. Someone that will buy stuff just because it's shiny, something along those lines. That kind of funny to me. But then guess who show up? Johnny Impact. He shows up. He have been missing for a while. I guess that might be the end of the Congo Con versus Johnny Impact feud, since now Johnny Impact moved to something different. Obviously, Johnny Impact confronting Austin Aries. And by the way, he declared that the main event of Bound for Glory is gonna be Johnny Impact versus Austin Aries. Gonna talk about that in a minute. Let me finish this. Obviously, he got attacked by Killer Kross and Moose. And then after that, they set him up for the chair on the neck spot. And Austin Aries hit it like on that with the obviously the ring post from the outside. It was a different setup than the usual one that you see, that have seen a couple of times already in professional wrestling. And Austin Aries ended up with his title belt on top and with Johnny Impact bandana. Thoughts on this segment? Yo, 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 yo. This was not bad, but I was not invested into this. I felt like this was like shoehorn. I think that's the word that people use, right? It feels like a little bit more forced than usual. And I like Aries. I like, Johnny Impact, but they were missing something. And I think it should have been, you should put always your your horse first, and then you put the carousel, right? Not put the carousel and then the horse. They first announced that there was gonna be a BFG main event match between Austin Aries and Johnny Impact for the title, and then they gave us the reason. I think it would have been a lot smarter to do it the other way around. Please give us the reason why there's gonna be a match between Johnny Impact and Austin Aries for the Impact World title at Bound for Glory. Also, I forgot to mention LAX. They call in for a ceasefire. Let me put this back on. LAX. They were a ceasefire in this feud. So no more fights between them until October 24th. That is gonna be at New York City, Bound for Glory. So there's gonna be a 3 versus 3 match, Conan with LAX versus the OGs and Kingston. So that is probably the best spot that I expected out of this match, out of this episode. I think that was the highlight of the show. As for me, I did enjoy the show. It was fun. It was not a a bad show, but the ending, especially the way that I explained it. Please give me a reason then of a match, then announce the match, not the other way around. I know they're trying something a little bit different on, but it is what it is, right? I cannot change what they already have recorded, but I wish they could work on a little bit of the details. And remember, guys, the devil is always in the details. That's it for me. Thank you a lot for listening, and make sure to subscribe and be on the lookout for the video about Bobby Lashley and his top 10 matches on Impact Wrestling. So that's it. Goodbye. And please subscribe and share this around. Bye.